Welcome to week 4 of our Old Testament survey, Old Testament 101. This week we'll be focusing on the books of Numbers and Deuteronomy. Numbers takes up exactly where Leviticus left off. You remember that we have seen that at the end of the book of Genesis, the people of Israel are actually in Egypt, and they'll remain there for over 400 years. Exodus then picks up there and tells us that God raises up an emancipator by the name of Moses, and Moses leads the people successfully and victoriously out of Egypt. God displays his power in wonderful, majestic ways. And then Leviticus tells us that God set his standard of righteousness and holiness for the people of Israel by giving them a law. Remember again, we said last week that when they came out of Egypt, they really had no law of their own. They had been living under Egyptian rule for all those hundreds of years, and they really had no law. They were indeed a lawless people, in a way of speaking. And so God establishes his law for them, and he establishes the tribe of Levi as the priestly tribe, and it is through them that the laws will be enacted and enforced. Then we came to the book of Numbers, and Numbers is a book that has two different names. The translators of the Septuagint gave it the name Arithmoi, or Numbers, because it is a book that records for us the numbers, the census taken of the people of Israel. But actually a more accurate title for the book is the Hebrew title, which is Vamidbar, which means in the desert or in the wilderness. And this is certainly more accurate because Numbers records for us things that took place while the people of Israel were wandering around in that 40-year period of time. Certainly doesn't record for us all the events of that 40-year period of time, but it does record for us things that took place during that period of time. Then Deuteronomy, the last book of Moses, is a giving of the law for a second time. God uses Moses to reiterate to the people of Israel the law that he had already given. He wants the people of Israel to understand the significance of that law. Moses gives 3 distinct speeches in the book of Deuteronomy, and those speeches are truly important for us to understand as Moses is drawing near to the end of his life, and as he is helping the people make preparations for entering into the promised land. Moses knows that he's not going to be able to go across into the promised land. God has already told him that because of his act of rebellion when the people cried out for water a second time, and instead of obeying God and doing exactly what God told him to do, Moses took matters into his own hands in a manner of speaking, and did things his own way rather than the way that God had prescribed. So Moses isn't going to be able to enter into the promised land. And God uses him in the book of Deuteronomy to give 3 speeches to reiterate to the importance of the law and to reestablish the people again and get them ready and prepared to make their entrance into the promised land. And God tells Moses that Joshua will be his successor, and Joshua is now going to take the place of Moses as the leader of the people, and he'll lead them into the promised land and lead them in their military exploits as they go in and take possession of the land that God had long, long ago promised to Abraham and the other patriarchs. So these are 2, again, very important books that we need to understand. They again, complete the 5 books of the Pentateuch, the 5 books of the law. And so read carefully the chapters in the textbook and answer the questions carefully. And I'll look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to call me, contact me by email, contact me through Moogle, and I'll get back to you just as quickly as I possibly can. God bless you in your work. Have a great week.